In Bangkok, a man sitting in his luxury villa was running his laptop when suddenly he heard a loud noise of an accident from outside. Not knowing that his luxurious life was going to end in a few minutes, the man left his laptop there and ran outside. To put it simply, a girl hit her Toyota Camry against the door of her villa, but in reality, the police of not one, not two, but 7 countries had been waiting for this day for many years. It was the morning of 5th July 2017 in Bangkok, and the person we are talking about is not an ordinary person. This multi-millionaire lived a life of kings. He drove a Porsche during the day, a BMW in the evening, and a Lamborghini at night. In the eyes of the world, he was a software developer, while in reality he was known as the king of dark web. The man who had hidden his identity for years, a small mistake revealed everything about him. For properties, money, wealth, cars, and his life too. But what was that small mistake, and how did the police of 7 countries find the world's most wanted dark web king in collaboration? Welcome back to Fact Galaxy Videos. Viewers, this is 2010 when the dark web was slowly rising. The dark web is the second direction of the world of the internet, where all kinds of illegal activities take place. From drugs and weapons to the contract of target killing, all the black business happens here. There are such things here that are very difficult for us to believe. There is a special reason behind all such things happening on the dark web. All over the world, illegal workers want to hide their identity so that they do not get caught by the police and law enforcement agencies. And on the dark web, this problem was always seen to be solved. Just as we use browsers like Google Chrome for browsing on the normal internet, in the same way, special browsers are used to browse the websites of the dark web, which provide protection to the user's identity through many servers. One of them is called Tor browser. Before 2010, the dark web was not so popular. But as soon as cryptocurrencies came, the problem of transferring illegal payments was also solved. Because it is impossible for authorities to track cryptocurrencies, all the problems of illegal trades had been solved on the dark web. The identity of the contractors was also safe, and it was also quite safe to transfer payments. Now, there was only one thing needed, and that was a good and reputable platform, or a dark website. First of all, a dark website called Silk Road was created, which was quite successful in this dark world of the internet. It started in February 2011, and as soon as it was launched, more than 100,000 customers started using it. But after 2.5 years, the owner of Silk Road was caught and this website was closed. But because there was a lot of demand for this business, a lot of new dark websites were launched in just a few days. Among them, there were websites called Silk Road 2.0 and Evolution. For sale and purchase on these websites, customers gave their bitcoins to the platform, and after purchasing, these bitcoins were deducted from the platform's commission and given to the seller. Now, because there is a lot of black business here, often website operators took all the customers' money and closed the website and ran away, which is also called exit scams. Similarly, no one knew them, and because of the dark web, it was impossible to trace them. Therefore, in the case of exit scams, drug dealers simply shifted to other platforms. There were a lot of scandals here in the early years of the dark web. Exit scams, platform owners being caught, and hacking were very common. There was a need for a reputable and trusted platform here, and this was the time when the dark website called Alphabay was launched on the dark web in 2014. No one knew the name of the person who launched it, nor his location. He used to identify himself as Alpha02. Initially, only stolen credit cards were sold on Alphabay, but later other products were also sold here, such as money laundering and drugs. There were some things that were not allowed to be traded on Alphabay. Details of child abuse and stolen Russian bank accounts. But why was this? Perhaps Alpha02 did not want to mess with the Russian law enforcement agencies? Or he wanted to show the US law enforcement agencies that he was sitting in Russia and running it. Of course, where the US has no hold. In the first year, Alphabay started setting foot on the dark web. In just 1 year, more than 2 lakh customers and more than 40,000 sellers started their black business with peace. By 2017, more than 3 lakh items had been listed on Alphabay, and sales of about $500,000 began daily. Alpha02, which no one knew, started earning $600,000 a month from these sales and soon became the only king of the dark web world. Alphabay had become the largest marketplace on the dark web, which had created a trust level between dealers and customers. Meanwhile, law enforcement agencies all over the world were trying to find out the real identity of AlphaZero 2. But so far, they have failed. American investigators wanted to know the server location of Alphabay, so that the data center can be raided and the platform can be shut down and there may be a chance to reach AlphaZero 2. Normally, it is not so difficult to find out the server location of any website, i.e., where the website is hosted. But the dark website can only be accessed through the Tor browser, which hides the location of the real website behind random servers all over the world. This was the reason why it was impossible for American investigators to reach Alphabay. Therefore, they started buying drugs as a normal user on Alphabay, hoping that if the drug dealer ever made a mistake, we could reach him. But this will only catch the drug dealer, while the authorities were looking for Alphabay's mastermind AlphaZero 2, who was taking a lot of precautions in this matter. He knew all the tricks to survive in this dark world. In the past few years, he has not made even a small mistake that could give any indication to the authorities. But then in 2017, the authorities found a clue to reach AlphaZero 2. A DEA of the Drug Law Enforcement Agency was sitting in front of the computer in search of Robert Miller, AlphaZero 2, when he received an email. This email had something written about AlphaZero 2, and the sender was an unknown person. Now, you all know that normally whenever a website is registered, a welcome email comes. Similarly, a welcome email from Alphabay came to this person when this platform was newly launched in 2014, and the email address from which this welcome email came was this address. Although this mistake was later fixed, but the tip giver had saved this real email address, which he shared on email with the DEA, Officer Robert Miller. Who was the person who emailed? Was he a competitor of Alphabay, a customer, or a drug dealer? It doesn't matter because now the DEA had received the first and most important information about AlphaZero 2, which was a huge success for them. This email address was used to sign up on many social media platforms. Skyrock.com was a French social media platform on which Alex was signed up through this email address. And the investigation team also found photos of Alex in 2008 and 2009, which were probably of AlphaZero 2. A dating profile was also linked to this email address, in which Alex had also written the name of his hometown, Trois-Rivières, which is a city in Canada. According to this profile of 2008, he was 17 years old at that time, and maybe 91 in his email address is his year of birth. Using this email, he also posted on a French technology forum in 2008, in which his username was AlphaZero 2, while his real name was written at the end of the post. Alexandria cases the authorities had the real name of AlphaZero 2. But where is it? On the LinkedIn profile, Alexandria had shown herself as a software designer, while she got the biggest clue about her current location from Facebook. The authorities found a profile of a girl from Thailand on Facebook who was Alexandria's fiancé. Maybe Alexandria Cases lives in Thailand. With the help of this tip, the American authorities arrived in Bangkok, and together with the Thai authorities, they found out that Alexandria had bought several properties in Bangkok. This was not the time to catch him, but to keep an eye on him quietly. He had a villa where he lived with his Thai wife. The second $3 million mansion was outside Bangkok, where he used to spend his holidays. He was going to buy a holiday home and a villa in Phuket. The agents started keeping an eye on all his activities. He was roaming around Bangkok in his Lamborghini, completely unaware that the Thai, American, and Canadian agents were following him. In his daily life, the dark web king was a normal person. He used to get up early in the morning and stay at home almost all day. In the midst of all this, the authorities started making plans to arrest him. But the problem was that if he was arrested in this way, it would not be proven in court that this person is the owner of Alphabay. That's why the investigation team wanted to catch him red-handed when he was working on his laptop. Alphabay was undoubtedly the biggest marketplace of the dark web, but it also had a competitor. A dark website called Hensa was famous in Europe, which was a pain in the necks of European authorities. At the time the Americans were making plans to arrest the owner of Alphabay, the European investigators were also very successful. They had found out the server location of the Hensa market, perhaps with the help of a spy. They did not want to close the server of the Hensa market because it would not be of any use, but the Hensa market would be run again on new servers. They secretly copied the data of his servers, and after reading the admin chat, they were able to find out that the owner of the Hansa Market lives in Germany. European authorities, together with the German Federal Criminal Police, started trying to find the owner of the Hansa Market. Meanwhile, the FBI in the United States told the European authorities that they were going to arrest Alpha 02 and close Alpha Bay. The American, European, and German authorities, along with the agencies of a total of 7 countries, wanted to give this operation a new color, which was named Operation Bayonet. According to the plan, the European authorities told the FBI not to arrest Alpha 02 until they gained control of the Hansa Market in Europe. This was a very clever decision by the agencies. On the dark web, it usually happens that when one website is closed, dealers and customers simply shift to another website. Since the Hansa Market was another big dark website, when Alpha Bay is closed, all dealers will shift to the Hansa Market, which will be under the control of the European authorities from the beginning. This will be able to catch thousands of new dealers. Operation Bayonet was a kind of honey trap. In the midst of all this, Alexandre Katzis had no knowledge of anything. He was busy in his leisure in Bangkok. On June 20th, 2017, the first part of the mission was successful. European authorities raided the data center of the Hansa Market in the Netherlands at the same time. And at the same time, the German authorities also arrested their owners in the German cities of Siegen and Cologne. But this news was not made public. The Hansa Market was now under the control of the European authorities, and no one on the dark web knew about it. On the other hand, preparations for the second part of the mission in Bangkok, i.e., the arrest of Alexandre Katzis, began. The DE, FBI, and Thai authorities wanted Alexandre to be caught red-handed when his laptop and mobile phone were open. For this purpose, they put a female agent in the Toyota Camry and tasked her to go to Alexandre's villa and make a fake accident and knock the car on his gate. This will cause the inside Alpha 02 or Alexandre to suddenly leave everything open and come out. Fortunately, it happened as planned. On the morning of July 5, 2017, when the Toyota Camry collided with the Alpha 02 gate, it left the laptop open and came out with its unlocked mobile phone. At the same time, many officers caught him and went inside to take control of his laptop, in which the Alpha Bay control panel was open. Alexandre Katzis was caught red-handed. The authorities copied all his passwords after scanning the laptop. His cars, properties, and million-dollar cryptocurrencies were seized. But this same Alexandre was about to die before being presented in court. It had only been a week since Alexandre was arrested that he hanged himself in custody and took his own life. Just a small mistake of the dark web king took everything, in fact, his life. There, after closing Alpha Bay, as planned, all dealers and customers turned to the Hansa Market, which was under the control of the European authorities. Thousands of new dealers were also caught, and after a week, the Hansa Market was also closed forever. On the same day, the U.S. Justice Department officially held a press conference on this operation and shared the news of the closure of 2 large platforms on the dark web with the media. I hope you will like and share this video of Fact Galaxy. Thank you very much for your loving comments. See you in the next great video.